Happy Sunday. It's Car Chronicles Sunday. It is Car Chronicles Sunday. So last week I started with the beginning. So I feel like this week I should start with the end. Towards the end of my 22-year marriage with my narcissist ex. If you don't know who I am Nola. I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana. I am a TikTok affiliate on 2 accounts and Amazon affiliate and QVC affiliate as well. Also in the medical field 20 years. So, I work corporate from home. So, I started last week with the beginning. So, this week, I want to start with the end. Towards the end of our marriage, 3 years ago, this month, actually 3 years ago, that I put my narcissist out. It was due to, because you gotta understand, like we said, all narcissists have some form of addiction, right? All narcissists have some form of addiction, whether it's gambling, alcoholism, drug use, whatever. They all have some form of addiction. So my situation was the alcohol and the other drug. Let's just call it that for, TT's sake. So that was what the situation was. That was the majority of the situation. Something even more strike inside of me. This was when my business was going good and getting there and things like that. Not great, but I had started, the business. We just got in our other home. Now understand that would all strike that, and I think what brought it even more. And I just feel like, what I feel like is, in 22 years, it was like I was keeping cancer dormant. You know how cancer lies dormant. It sometimes never leaves. It just lies dormant and then it comes back. So that's what I feel. That's kind of how I can reference how I felt and how I feel in regards to keeping my narc husband, dormant. Basically, his behavior dormant. So because I felt, and this is our problem, ladies. We always feel like we can change, someone and things like that. You're not changing a narc. You're not changing a narcissist. Now, understand the education of it and knowing what I was dealing with and things like that. Still wanting to see that maybe he could get some help. We did counseling. We did this. Did that. Did all of those things. You cannot do this with a narcissist. Okay? It's not going to happen. Counseling is not going to help. That is not going to help. This is a spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual thing, because they have to know what they're doing is wrong, which they do know, but they have to actually repent with God, and that's not going to happen. Okay? So towards the end, it started coming to where he just stopped, was getting so drunk, couldn't drive home, or getting so high, couldn't drive home, had to go and get him, in Mississippi from by his friend's house, and drive, at the time, our $50,000 truck home, and had to have my daughter be there with me to do that. So I want to make that clear. Like, this is my story, right? I have the right to tell my story. This is my story. And if my story could save somebody else's life, because, this is a serious situation. People become unalive from these situations every day. So this is towards the end of my narcissistic marriage. So I literally threw all his things out. The police department had to escort him to get the rest of his things out of our home, because he decided that he just didn't want to come home. God knows where he was at now. Remember this, narcissist monkey branch off of you, right? So they're always looking for new supply regardless, because they want to, what does a monkey do? They swing from branch to branch, right? So they're going to monkey branch off of you in order to, make sure that they have that security. So in his case, he knew he can go by his mom now. And at the same time, yes, he went through a traumatic experience of his father's passing, my ex-father-in-law. However, we lose parents every day. My mom is actively dying, from her last stage of dementia. So we lose parents every day. I mean, you cannot make excuses like this for your behaviors in life, especially when you get older and you don't want to go backwards in life. And at the age we are at, our big grown age, you're going backwards and doing these things and having these addictions. Like, it just don't make no sense, right? This kind of stuff just don't make no sense. So anyway, towards the end, that's the reason, hence the reason, and what the reason why I put my Narc out. And finally, I knew that was not new for sure, but I kind of had it, for sure in my head that that would be the end. And then, of course, once I found out all of the things they do, perverted things, messing with children that's the same age as our child, our girls and things like that, actually talking, just find out everything just comes to surface. His own children, caught him and came to me with this information. So it's like, it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, and how embarrassing it is for the narcissists, because they want to pretend like to everyone like they just great father figure and, husband figure and things like that. No. So put your that's towards the end. That's how it ended. That was the beginning stages of our divorce 3 years ago, which was finalized on March 31st. But put your perceptions, your comments, thoughts, and concerns in the chat. This is Car Chronicles Sunday with Nola, and happy Father's Day to all of the great fathers out there. Stay tuned for more.